After all, he's holding a spade. No, Mr. Inosuke, it's a shovel, remember? No, it's a spade. I think it's a shovel. But a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in the graveyard in the middle of the night? Miss Suzero? Oh, please say it. Yes? That's a spade, isn't it? Inosuke, now is not the time. But you're wrong. Ooh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the story-driven gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are sitting on Mr. Hairbrain's math lecture. So strap yourselves in. The next 3 hours are going to be a doozy. No, we are actually playing, if it wasn't apparent, the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Last episode, something very important happened, something that may change the game as we know it. And that is, of course, that Gina got an adorable little puppy. So I had to. That did indeed happen. She did get a puppy, and it is adorable. Those things are true. But an even more important revelation happened later on. So I'm getting ahead of myself, though. We got to investigate the crime scene a little bit more. We came across some new pieces of evidence. Like the bird cage was back, instead of being, across the way at the tower, it was brought back to the machine, the other side where the machine is. And all we really got was that there was there was damage to the base. So I don't exactly know what that means yet. I think that was the only thing we found at the scene. These are pieces of evidence we got later. This creepy ass picture of Drebber, and then his card, which had no information on it to locate him, but had this little oil stain. So, not sure what any of that means yet, but we will soon enough, I'm sure. So while we were investigating the machine, we ran into Van Zykes, and we questioned him on some things, including his brother, see if we get more information about that. And then the apprentice showed up, and Suzero looked like almost immediately she had an idea who that was. And Ryunosuke implied that he had an inkling who it might be as well. And that was, of course, Kazuma himself, which I had thought of as it was kind of a wild theory at the time, but when we found out that Kazuma's body disappeared, that's when I concluded, there's a good chance he might be alive then. And, that, plus the fact that we have this masked guy, that we have no idea who he is, I was kind of like, I wonder if it could be Kazuma. My early theory was that maybe it would end up being Van Zykes' brother or something, that he's actually alive, but we have no evidence of that yet, that he could be alive, but once we got the evidence that Kazuma could be alive, that's when I theorized that, but it ended up, well, I can't say for certain that it ended up being true, we don't know that. One thing I did notice when I was editing is that when Suzero called out to Kazuma, he did stop, he turned around, and you could actually see him sweating. Beads of sweat just, flowing off of him as well, so I don't know, it seems his reaction was interesting. But it feels so early to make that conclusion. It's not like he ripped off the mask and was like, "It is I, Kazuma, you are correct," So, yeah, I don't know. There must be something more to it. I feel like it can't be that easy. What? I don't know. But that was the big revelation of the last game. Or the last episode, rather. And in this episode, we should be able to finish off the investigation. I can't imagine there's much more left. We only have one place left to go, I think. And I've been looking forward to going here, because we haven't been here yet. Where is it? It's at the bottom. There it is, the Forensics Laboratory. This is where we'll get to talk to, what was her face? Scythe. Courtney Scythe, that's her name, right? So let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead. Saint Sinners. I love the name of that. Oh, jeez. Okay. The first thing I saw was a skeleton. Now, it might not be a real one. It might just be a model. I see a weird owl thing. Maybe she's into taxidermy. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Look at that next to the owl. A crow. You can only... It's just a black silhouette with a red glowing eye. That's not creepy. You got a skull in a vase. Or some kind of jar. You got a bloody table. I mean, that is... So she does her coroner stuff in her office. Okay. Okay, this isn't creepy at all. Let's just continue. 23rd of October, Forensics Laboratory. I believe this is it. Dr. Scythe's Laboratory. The chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here too, yes. As we just went over. It looks as though the doctor is in here. But we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Suzuto? But I agree. You could just have a look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Okay. Where to begin? Shall I start with this creepy skeleton? Well, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. I guess you could say that. Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? Okay, just ignoring the skeleton that's in it. Yeah, exactly. Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo? Did that really not catch your eye? Oh, that, Miss Suzuto. Can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? Just give me this. It's how I cope. Don't leave me alone. I'll be sure to remember that from now on. Mianosuke. Okay? If you don't want to focus on this creepy skeleton, how about we focus on the creepy birds? That looks like an owl and a crow up there. I know. And they haven't even twitched since we came in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. I was right. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. Nothing creepy about that. Ugh. I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. And how's that working for you? It's not. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Drebber doll on display in the office instead. Okay, I guess the desk. I suppose this is Dr. Scythe's desk. Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this. You think? It's very tidy though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. Look how neatly those tools are, organized on the shelf next to that bloodied table. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. But other than that, it sounds great. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Oh, you're such a worrywart. Well, yes. Those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with a one-eyed Drebber doll watching over me, but that's all. Fair enough, Naruhodo, fair enough. Now, what do we got here? Is this like a workbench? A work desk? Or it's more like a cabinet. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in those cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. Ugh, that's worrying. Because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. Better not get those mixed up with any of the other dangerous chemicals in there. The doctor probably spends a ton of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals here sometimes. Sure, store the condiments with the chemicals. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. Imagine just like operating on like a dead body here. And then you just walk a couple feet away to your desk and just start whip out a sandwich and start eating. That's gross. Okay, I won't even let me examine the table. That's odd. What else we got? The tools. We got the shelf up there. I'll save the tools for last. Okay, let's just do this desk up here. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. Try not to think of it. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something. Or like the pickled umeboshi plums we make back home. Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution. Probably as examples of some rare medical condition. Okay. Miss Suzuto. There's some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. Oh. Might be. So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors or umeboshi, right? Aren't they? Sure. Of course. Whatever you say, master. Okay, let's check the tools. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? That's because they are. Might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. Oh, I see it back there. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air? You'd either have to have a cast iron constitution, or a really terrible sense of smell. Or both. What else is there to look at? Examine that. The book? Oh, the book. I didn't touch the book yet. Let me see. That's probably important. Yeah. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Let's eavesdrop. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scaffolds every month! 500? That's a lot. They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scaffold blades can be sharpened too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. Is it actually relevant, though? I don't know what that means exactly. 500 scaffolds a month? What could they possibly be using all of them for? That it? She really not going to show up, or is she going to show up now? Oh, what are you doing? Ah! There she is. Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so... So you thought you'd snoop around? That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Stronger told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asman's body, I mean. Yes, your name was in the little, autopsy report thingy. So we came to ask you about your findings. On Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice had given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when you are done, you must leave immediately. Okay, fair enough. Since you're new and all, would you like to have a look at my armband? That's not what I meant to do. Now, would you like to look at my armband? Dr. Scythe, would you be good enough to take a look at this? Oh, what is that sassy pose? Oh, you think I'm good enough, do you? No. I didn't mean... What's happening? So I'm not good enough? In that case, why would you show me anything? Clearly you're too good for me to show you anything again. Ever. Now that I've said that, let me go down the list and show you everything that's in my pocket. Okay. She had absolutely nothing to say about any of this evidence. It's like the more evidence you get, the more tedious that is, going through every piece to see if they have anything to say. Okay, I don't know if... Okay, no, nothing new. I was just wondering if since she's here, if there'd be like new dialogue options. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's talk to you about your findings. I'm not 100% sure what voice to give her. I'm still kind of experimenting. So, you want to know what forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? Look at her, she's so cool. The victim, Mr. Odie Asman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion. And the Mr. Asman, who appeared moments later, partway up the Crystal Tower. Were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. We have come to a different conclusion. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see. If two people who look very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true. But sadly, in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. Yeah, we didn't touch on that at all. Actually, now that I think about it, fingerprints didn't come into play that much at all in these games because they weren't a thing yet. But now with the forensic investigation team, now we're starting to get that stuff. They are not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system. But one day, they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Have you met Sherlock Holmes? He has the same purpose. Look at that. Look at her face there. It's like a wicked smile. Kinda sexy. Oh, Vianosuke, you pervert. First Miss Tuspel, and now Miss Scythe. What can I say? I like older women. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place, which it did not. So where does that leave us? Could the fingerprints have been planted there beforehand? Or maybe he was in the machine? Did they have to practice or something? I don't know. My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Although that would be kind of odd, considering this is like very new technology. Ah, egads! Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery, just the way I like it. There's so many unanswered questions. Hello? Mama, what is this? Ah, where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Oh man. So we got another kid joining the fray. This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you? Pleased to meet you, that's what I meant to say. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mama! Yes? Can I cut this one up? What? Wait, you mean me? I've never seen a Southern East in person before. I want to know what it looks like. Okay, settle down. Of course you can't. I'm gonna give her a little deeper voice. Because now it's blending in with her daughter. It's a live specimen that you can very well see. Aww. That's disappointing. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. That's you were almost murdered right in front of everyone. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Move, move, move. Is that really it? Okay, anything else to say? So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office. Are there such impertinent Easterners around? How terrible. Yes, you. Now go away. She doesn't mince her words, Miss She doesn't mince her words, Miss Suzuto. I think perhaps it's time we left. Okay, that was a pretty short visit. I'm not even sure where to go next. Because we visited everywhere. I mean, we tried going back to Madame Tuspel's because I remember no one was around when we went there earlier. We could also try going back to Sholmes this week because we implied that we have to talk to Sherlock Holmes. Let's try there. Nope. Maybe I'll try going back to Madame Tuspel's. Yeah, let's try going back to Madame Tuspel's. I just want to see something. Okay, now I want to see if Sholmes was back. Huh. Either I'm missing something important, or... I don't know, we'll just try every area. I've been there. We were just at the prison. I guess we could try the, stage again. Okay, I can't go up here though, right? Or can I? You better not try going up those stairs to the stage area now. If we were to bump into the forensic investigation team, it sounds like you could make trouble. I am very confused. That's literally everywhere, right? All that's left is the prison. So let's try the prison. Again. What? What am I missing? Excuse me while I figure this out. Let's see, can I talk to Suzuto? Okay, here we go. Let's see if this does anything. Do you know? I honestly thought that I might never have the opportunity to return to Great Britain. And certainly not so soon. It's funny. For the past 6 months, I hadn't been able to work in court. Meanwhile, you've been raising a storm in the Supreme Court of Judicature back in Japan. Please, Mr. Naruhodo. I may have been dressed as a man, but it was a very reserved performance. So what your father said in his letter about a Ryutaro takedown is reserved? Well, anyway, I'm back here in this great capital now, and ready to assist you again, in any way I can. Thank you, Miss Suzuto. It's my pleasure, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, that told me nothing. Thank you. Thanks for that. Do I have to maybe present this to somebody? Because we got the card. Wait, let me think. Who do we get the card from? We got the business card from Hairbrain, right? So maybe I have to present this to somebody. Let me see if Gina has anything to say about it. There we go. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble... actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. Eh? How come? You're just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. It turns out that this is a very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. Yeah, they said it's like perfume, right? You don't say! Let's have a whiff, then! Use that nose, Gina. Or maybe a puppy can use his or her nose. That's right, the name's Toby, so it's probably a he. You sure? I don't smell nothing. That's right, they said it's odorless. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, right. You mean Toby? Yeah. Put that dog to use. Woof! His sense of smell is so good he can track people over the oceans, can he? That is what I said, yes. Professor Hairbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. I think he's picked up a scent. So I mean if we follow the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy cove's workshop? It's worth a try. That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping. Let's do it. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What? Wait, when did you... Once a pickpocket. Always a pickpocket. If I can lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop, maybe I'll get a promotion. I'll be the boss's boss before next week. That's the spirit, Gina. And then your boss will be your... Then your dog will be your boss, I mean. Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Whatever makes you happy, let's go. Poor Gregson. He's already forgotten. Right then, Odo. Leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna get going after the dodgy engineer cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'll do it. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. But who cares about him, right? Poor Gregson again. No love for Gregson. Ready, Toby? Got the oil sent, have ya? Come on then, boy. Boy. See you later. Gina, away! I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to that swindler's workshop. Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. That would be nice. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If you could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber. That would be very useful. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. I don't know why I talked in an accent. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. I hope so. Gina's never let us down before, right? Now then. Do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. Okay, I had a feeling we'd go there eventually. We ought to find him at Madame Tussbell's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture. And I'm not going to question it at all. Okay, now that's what I needed to do. Now we can go to Madame Tussbell's. '23rd of October, Madame Tussbell's Museum of Waxworks. Oh, Miss Tussbell, where are you? I've missed you. Here we are again, at the House of Horrors. Horrors. I don't know why I keep saying that every time. I'm afraid that time it actually was an accident. I'm afraid I haven't got used to the place yet. I still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course. I feel like this is very similar to the first time we came here. Suzuro-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Eek! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that waxwork! Is it who I think it is? I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. Kill it! It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes, down to the very last detail. Wow, they make these things so lifelike these days. Aha! What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find that's the temporary waxwork himself. Yay, there you are. Hey, cutie pie. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Oh yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say, I am quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. Gotta get used to the accent again. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... You talking about the other one? The one that was stolen? Or are you talking about Sholmes? But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow. Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes, I see that. His habitual duties. Allures. Do not disturb, huh? That's a new pose. Anything for you, Miss Tussbell. Poor Suzuro-san. She looks very perplexed. She had no idea what's going on. Trust me, that was me when I first came here. So is the dialogue going to be the same, though, for everything? Yeah. Okay, so that saves us some time. We already examined all this stuff. We just got to talk to Sholmes. I see you there. We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I'm looking to say hello again. But where is he? Oh, Suzuro. Put him up! Put him up! Put him up! I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually. Oh! What are you... Aha! Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! Were you surprised? The world-famous great detective and waxwork, Sherlock Holmes! Wow! Call me shocked. She just faint. Suzano-san! Suzano-san! Why? Oh, goodness. You scared her, Sholmes. Are you proud of yourself? My most humble apologies. I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London. Via the London Underground. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. It will be, don't worry. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? That is the question. Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. I want to see what it looks like, if it looks anything like Asman. Because it's also supposed to be a waxwork figure of the professor, right? Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though, I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise. Or any food so far today, for that matter. Eat something, bro. Rumble, rumble, rumble. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So how do you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? I've heard of it before, yes. Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. Like magic. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. And convenient. Just between you and I. It would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Huh, interesting, I wonder why. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no? That's true. Yes, I think perhaps. The ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. Oh. But does that not mean... Your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? That's one way to put it. Nonsense! A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tussfeld at all costs. Don't tell her, please! Hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. She needs to eat tonight. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? I would like to inspect it, yes. Okay. I don't think... Nothing new to examine. I just wanted to double check. Should I? I guess I might as well go through this. Odi Asman. Yes, a fearsome adversary. What? You mean you fought him? With my bare hands. I once infiltrated his criminal organization in order to investigate the man and his activities. But he saw through my disguise instantly. I still remember what the man said to me now. What was it? Whoever saw it, it's a tall old lady. Don't know what that means. Old lady? Indeed, but my special disguise hasn't seen the light of days again since that humiliation. Mrs. Minicle is retired. Oh, he was in disguise. Mrs. Minicle? I would give my right arm to see that. I'd pay anything to see the great Sherlock Holmes in drag. Mr. Holmes, would you have a look at this newspaper? You've been into my room and helped yourself, have you? Let's not turn this into a scandal, shall we? Is that where we got this from? I can't remember. Well, considering I've already read it, one thing immediately strikes me. This paper is old news. What possessed you to show me this? What's done is done. You must distinguish, my dear fellow. Distinguish the old from the new. There's some conversations which you never started. This is one of them. Okay, that's it. So let's just talk to him. Ooh. We'll save Cosmo's death for last, or for later. Start with Drebber. Enoch Drebber. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh? Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Harebrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer? Quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? None at all. I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have a good idea before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help. Yes, Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I shall gladly give you my thoughts on it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I did present in the picture, but maybe we need to have that conversation first. But before I do that, let's just jump right in and talk about Cosima then. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? Me lie? Never. My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship. Your words were very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. This was our very first run-in with Sholmes. You told us that it was murder. And you examined Cosmo-sama's body. This is back when Suzuto was still very hostile towards us, because she thought we did it. And we didn't know each other that well. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today. Oh, sorry. We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asagi. They're talking like they know for a fact. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. Again, I just have trouble accepting it for sure, since we didn't actually see him, you know? You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. I have the right to remain silent. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. Got you good, didn't I? I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes. Or should I call you Mr. Phony? I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. The truth? We detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid it is all I can say. Well, thanks for that. Okay, like I said, I think we need to present him a picture of Drebber, which I have right here. Like I said, I thought I showed it to him, but I guess not. Well, like I said, I might have showed it to him, but I might have needed to wait for that conversation to happen first. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. Not this one. So, looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? He just rips it up and eats it. Rah, 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 rah. Nothing to see here. Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You turned quite pale all of a sudden. And he's not going to tell us crap, is he? I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me? Oh, well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned. And I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Oh yes, the Professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. That's a special one-time only price, you understand? Can we just see it? What? I don't know how much that is. The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone? Nonsense. The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it. I have to get Iris through college, after all. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Me serious? Surely you only look at my expression to ascertain this is a seriousness or a silliness. I can never tell with you, that's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. 5 shillings for the possessed toy. Take it away. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit waits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Okay, thank you. Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. Is it gonna look like Drebber or something? Through those heavy curtains at last. Or is it gonna look like somebody we know? Because if it looks like Asman, then that could very well help promote my theory that they were switched out, or that it was the what do you call it? The wax figure that was put in the machine. Okay, let's take a look. 5 shillings we've had to pay. This better be worth it. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it? No. But what are you gonna do? Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills. She's trying to go on the straight and narrow, but good idea. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Ah, stop using that word. Is this what makes Britain great? Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors. What a wacky bunch. Inspector Gretchen comes off rather well in that list, I think. Let's take a look. 23rd of October, Madame Tuspel's special exhibit. That's the professor? Without his head? Or is that the professor? Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as we walked in here. Miss Suzuto! I say we turn on our heels and go straight home, via a really big confectionery. Let's go. We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already. Make it count. True. Darn it, you got a point. Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. We paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. I want my money back! The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. Oh god, the diddling detective. This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said that case was largely solved. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? Whatever that means. Yes, we will get what we paid for. Is that fear or frustration? That's making Suzuto-san's voice tremble. Okay. Anything to examine apart from the obvious? Okay, let's examine this guy first. After all, he's holding a spade. No, Mr. Ianosuke, it's a shovel, remember? No, it's a spade. I think it's a shovel. You know what? Forget about that for now. Let's investigate the weird dude over here. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. Seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large shovel in his hand too. Look. Actually, it's a spade. Perhaps we should investigate it in a little more detail. Okay. He's got a camera. I think that's what that is. What's this here? Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so... I believe it's probably a camera. A camera, but it's so small. A security camera. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. Yeah, I was gonna say, he's ahead of the curve. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder. Perhaps he's trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. No. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. We're just taking it? The camera for around the neck of a waxwork in the Madame Tussbell special exhibit. By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken. What's a photographic plate? It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion. Right? Yeah, emulsion that reacts in the light coming in through the lens. We're learning. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself, Caesar-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Okay, I can't look at it now. It's not letting me, It's not letting me examine the evidence. Looks like we can look at the spade, shovel thing. What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night? Miss Suzero? Oh, please say it. Yes? That's a spade, isn't it? Rinosuke, now is not the time. But you're wrong. No, it's a shovel. Trust me. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade, trust me on this. We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel! No. Although, we haven't considered trowels. Ooh, that adds a whole nother dimension to the argument. You know what? I'm leaving. 5 shillings is not worth it. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. So we're going to bury the hatchet? Very punny. You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Okay. We had another one of our legendary shovel spade debates. Gotta love it. Anything else on him? You can't, it's not letting us look at his face. Oh, wait. I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just... Oh! Do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Just rips his head off. Okay, he's got a camera for an eye. Ah! What on earth? How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle! Oh, that... Okay. That's what we're looking for, right? Isn't that what Mr. Drebber has? Well, he has an eye patch. Mr. Naruhodo, is it possible that this man is... Yes. It's Enoch Drebber. The color of his hair is different, but... It's unmistakably him. Interesting, so who's involved in this case? Very intriguing. Indeed it is. We didn't get to examine the guy in the grave. I thought that was the most important part. Mr. Sholmes. This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe? Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? Is he the professor? Why did the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. That might have been sarcasm. What a surprise. So the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head, toot the sweet, as Madam would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. Aha! A very hungry Irish still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not sure what this could mean. This is the professor thingy, right? So, I don't know if the convict... I don't know if the convict in there is supposed to be the professor. But maybe we'll find out that Enoch Drebber is the professor. Do you know, though, something about this room is strange. Strange? What do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not? That's correct. Indeed they are, Miss Susato. Do go on. And, as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... Yeah, he's like coming out from the ground, like a zombie. This surely couldn't ever have really happened, could it? I think it's time I educate you a little. About the nature of the incident involving the professor 10 years ago? Yes, please do. I want to know more. Is there anything else to examine, though? Like this guy? This must be the killer. The fiend known as the professor. Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place? I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Yeah, I think the only thing we can really examine is the missing head. So I'm thinking either Enoch Drebber is the professor, although you think people would know that, or the fact that the head is missing, which obviously that's what you would use to identify this person, means that when we find the head, it's going to be somebody we know. Or something. I don't know if that makes sense. Like maybe we'll find the head of the figure looks like Mr. Asman or something. I don't know. So this is the condemned man. Yes, the so-called professor. Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Don't think that's quite it. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Miss Susato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then, perhaps Mr. Sholmes absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That seems more likely. That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum. I don't know if it was intentional. Oh, I mean, leaving it off is probably intentional. And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. Did you discover something? There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. It looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. What could that be from? I'm not quite sure yet. Where would such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? I suppose it must have made thick to increase its strength. But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example. Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too. You don't mean... Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside this waxworks jacket? It makes you think, doesn't it? Okay. My head hurts. No, I'm kidding, but... The only thing I can think of then is if a piece of glass from the tower is in his jacket, either the jacket was taken off of the Mr. Asman, but he definitely wasn't wearing a jacket like this. So was it the wax figure that dropped through the roof? And then maybe by the time... I don't know if that makes sense. And then maybe it was swapped out then? I don't know. That's the only way the glass could have gotten in there, right? Early in court, we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. And now we discover this fragment of glass here in this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? It's definitely part of the trick. It's definitely not a coincidence. So the wax figure was definitely stolen to use for this trick. I'm just not sure how. The only thing I got is that this must have been what fell through the window then. From the balloon. And obviously the head missing is very significant. Okay, I think that's... Wait, what? We can examine the grave itself. It doesn't matter if they're here in Britain or in Japan. Graveyards are scary. Now I come to think of it, this is the first time I've seen a British grave. According to what I've read, the custom in Britain is to bury the dead as they are without cremation. What? But if you do that, you might accidentally bury people while they're still alive. It's a risk they're willing to take. I'm not sure that would be worse than accidentally incinerating people while they're still alive. Yeah, I don't know which is worse. I think we can both agree that it's best not to be still alive when our times come then. Very wise words. And what am I to say to that? Yeah. Like, that's gotta be ridiculously scary, like, being buried alive. That seems awful. I've seen that in, like, movies and television shows. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, I think we can talk to Sholmes now. Where to start? Let's start here. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims. Every one being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Yes, that I remember. Oh gosh, an enormous hound. How awful. The Hound of the Baskervilles. After taking the life of its 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand, accordingly. The professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. Closed court? So you mean that the professor's identity? As you've surmised, my dear fellow, it was a secret. His identity was never made public. Oh, very interesting. So your average person doesn't even know what the professor looks like. Apart from this wax figure. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. Was he, though? He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh? Did he escape or something? What happened? The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Oh, okay, so... came back to life, so that's what this is depicting? He crawled his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlight graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. Wow, that's wild. There was a witness? I'm assuming Mr. Drebber here. But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat. Enoch Drebber. He saw it happen? This case is getting wilder and wilder. So much to keep track of, but I love it. Okay, let's talk about him then. So this is a waxwork model of Enoch Drebber. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from the grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old. Okay, so how old is he now? Well, he should be like 30 something then, right? 35, okay. It's so horrifying. Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. Yeah, I was gonna say, he looked like his face looked like he had a look of abject terror on it. Exactly, and the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yes, as shown in the photograph we have of him, his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page of the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Touchspell's. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. What I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place. Yeah, why was he there? With a shovel or a spade or whatever you want to call that. In a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. Yes, what was he up to? No idea. Following the execution. Was he trying to dig up the body or something? Professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Huh. Yes, I can imagine the impact this case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So due to talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life, it was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did people stop believing it? That's what happens over time. Why? Simply because there is no resurrection to speak of, as was established. In fact, what? What do you mean by no resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. No! But that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society, and nothing has been heard of him since. It's rather striking, then, that he should resurface now, don't you think? Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. That's not possible. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, is it more likely he might have just dyed it, maybe to hide his identity or something? It's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. I really don't know what to make of all this. Ah, Gina! What the bleeding Nora, Odo? What have you gone and done? Gina? What are you doing here? Put him up! Yes, Iris, and she said this is where you'd be, so you're under arrest. So, Gina! Not so loud in the museum. Madame Tuspels will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be a more pressing concern. I stored some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... Alright, Gina, we understand. Don't destroy the place, but please, put down the gun. Let us talk like civilized people. Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. I think we were the ones who were scared. So, what brings you here, Gina? What brings me here? What do you think? I'm assuming it has to do with the nameplate, or the card. We found it! We found that dodgy cove's workshop. What? You found Drebber's workshop? Yup. Toby's note took me straight there. The boss and the others are heading over there now in a drag. I thought you were saying, over there now in drag. So come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then. See you there. Aw, why are you so sad? You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here. Being still. Oh yeah, you can't come. What? I'm a statue after all. I know my place in the exhibit over there. I need the money. Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself. Well, nothing to do about it. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompense. And I says dinner. Forget that. I'll pay you for everything. Let's go. Well, how can I say no to that? This is not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall have a carrot at once. No offer to share the cost from Mr. Sholmes, then? Naturally. I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, that's my girl. Thank you, Miss Suzuto. Right, let's go. So we're going straight there? Oh, look at this place. 23rd of October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. This looks like a mad scientist lived here. This is Doomsday device. It looks very similar to the actual device, the one that at the show. That looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. That's what I thought. Indeed, it would appear so. Though only a prototype, naturally. Oh, so you got here then? Gina! Well done for finding this place. Actually, it was Toby. In such little time, you've really worked miracles. It's Toby as the miracle worker. Woof! That's a boy, Toby. Why are your eyes closed? Oh, I thought you lot would show up before long. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. You look like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you're hoping to snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zunks and the forensic investigation team are on the way here as we speak. Them again? Really? I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Right. We're on it. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes? Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Ah ha ha ha! Damn it. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. Whatever. Right then, let's see what we can find in here. Okay. See, as always, there's a lot more to this investigation than I thought. There's a trophy here. Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. Not quite. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. Are you an idiot, Ryunosuke? It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist who wishes for no higher honor. Ah. Would you like a massage? No, no, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. He actually seems like a brilliant scientist. I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? You can put it in your room, or in your office, Mr. Naruhodo. It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. Okay. A Royal Society trophy for excellence in science that was found in Mr. Drebber's workshop. It's a very prestigious award for a young scientist. Interesting. This looks like a plane model. What on earth is this? Do planes exist yet? An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies. Susanoo, that's ridiculous. Is that how the trick will be described? Is it? Sorry? Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it? You think that's how it's actually gonna work? Oh, well, this model is yes, but a real aeroplane would actually fly high in the sky. While suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Duh! Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported. Susanoo, get your head out of your ass. So to you, the solution is even taller towers? Ryunosuke can't wrap his head around this newfangled technology. Wait, is that a trapdoor or something? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There will be serious repercussions if you were to examine it. From the Crown and the government. Okay. They're doing it. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose chain dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Toby, eh, my dear fella? That's what you were looking for? British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Miss Susanoo. They got their own agendas. Okay, so we can't really examine that too properly. Are those, is that like arrows? Oh, maybe this is what he used to shoot the balloon out of the sky. This is... It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, do you suppose? Quite 4 bolts, these. And just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yup, that's more evidence to support your theory. That's what I thought. In order to show that Drebber was the one puffing the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Okay. A crossbow found hidden behind a tree. It belongs to Mr. Enoch Drebber. Is this the exit? Is this where we came in? This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. Use your pickpocketing skill, Gina. There's a special locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission, so shove off. And no one's giving it to ya. Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that. Try it, I dare ya. Well, there's no sign of anybody on the other side. No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger. Thud. Uh-oh. Okay, there's something in there. Oh? Is something wrong, Miss Suzuto? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. But what do I know? Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it, Noel. So did Toby. What do you reckon, Toby? Wuff wuff! Right, mind the grease. Thud, thud, thud! Whoever's in there, open up! This is Scotland Yard! And nothing. Oh, are they running away? Okay, what it sounds like is somebody started to run. Maybe there's a secret exit. Oh my! Someone is in there! Okay, hang on. There's a whole bunch of evidence we got that I forgot to examine any of it. So let's do that quickly. I know this isn't really the time. What a wonderful machine. You really love contraptions like this, don't you? Oh yes, anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible. Almost irresistible, surely. Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart. Ah, Tinkerer. That's worrying. Yes, Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. He's given up having a watch. Poor Professor Mikatoba. Oh, there's blood on the inside. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? On the bellows just here. There seem to be some very dark red stains. Yes, you're right. Looks like blood, actually. That's what I would say. Oh my. I'm gonna throw up. I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. Ha ha ha. Ha. Okay. When the lens is extended, dark staining is visible on the bellows. I feel that's probably the main thing. Okay, let me see what this is. Ah, it opens up. Oh look, the cover came open. Yes, now there should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you want to take, you see? I'm glad you know how this works. There's something wrong. There's no plate. It's been removed. Ah, what a pity. But I suppose if you think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time. Just like the waxwork isn't the actual person. Yeah, it's probably just a replica. So we never found a photographic print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. Oh, yes, you're quite right, of course. Poor Suzuto-san. She looks devastated. Yeah, she thought she was onto something. Okay, I think that's it. Probably. Now we got the glass. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. Yes, I've never seen anything like it. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin. There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo. That was rude, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. Yes, I think so too. It's probably made especially to meet the demands of that great structure. Like I said, the only way it could be in there is if the wax figure crashed through the roof. And lastly, the statue, or the trophy. What does this say? There's a little metal plaque here. Look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it? But clearly Mr. Drebber really was a very talented scientist. Okay, let's continue. Someone is in there. Oh, this rotten bleeding lock! Break it open! My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago. If only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. You gonna let me do it? Or let him do it? Just do it already. Fine. I'll take the rat for it. Just get us to that blasted door. Click. That was fast. There. You may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. No, I had the key the whole time. Aha! Time is the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. What if we find like another dead body? I don't know what we're gonna find. What is this? What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down? Seemed like there was a struggle. Rat, there ain't no one in here after all. But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises. Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away. But there's only one door into this room. And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. What's that up there? What the heck? Did the whole room turn around or something? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me! What have we here then? Save that for the second date. Aha! Looks like someone's trying to burn something in a hurry. Some kind of paper or cloth. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Harebrained farming machine, is it? Blimey! If we had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all the scrap metal. There is something of great interest here, too. A rope. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. You must investigate the entire room thoroughly. And before the forensic investigation team arrive, too. Okay, let's do it. I see a safe. That's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. Although, if we were a thief, we could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhanded trick, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, worth a shot. Well, then you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose. I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important. Some tells me we won't get in there yet. I'm saving this, conspicuous-looking bomb for last. There's a balloon. That's a really lovely model. It looks just like a real flying balloon. I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle as a full-size balloon using gas. A green flying balloon. It does have the hallmarks of that amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Yeah, I was gonna say, even the color matches. Could it be that the whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? I wonder. What's all this? Almost every piece of furniture is upside down. Even Mr. Sholmes' suite isn't ever in this much of a mess. You're in no position to comment on mess, Mr. Naruhodo. Have you ever seen your office? But I suppose it's not quite the same thing, is it? I mean, it's not messy in here per se. It's that everything is literally upside down. But why? Yeah, the only thing I can think of is if maybe the room was literally turned upside down since there are footprints like on the ceiling. Maybe the room rotates. Anything else? Let's examine the footprints and then the bomb, I guess. There's no denying it is there. They're footprints. Yes, it would appear so. And I simply can't imagine how they came to be there. Isn't there a Suzuto shoot-up or something? Like a Suzuto takedown, I mean? Anything? I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruhodo. But I can try. That would make her almost superhuman, I suppose. She's already superhuman in my book. Mr. Sholmes? Have you found something? It's just a bomb, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. I found the source of the ticking. It's a pipe bomb. Hooray! Pfft. Let me know in the comments if you get that reference. Please tell me I'm not the only one. It looks like a bundle of sticks. Ah! Miss Suzuto, what's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? Did you say? Oh, we're screwed. A time bomb? Sorry, but... What is a time bomb exactly? I don't think we have time to discuss this. Eh? Ah, ha, ha, ha. You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. Ah! You don't know nothing, do ya, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? Well, no. I invite you to consult the dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess that it has a very similar appearance. Oh. Oh, well, thank goodness. But then, what is it exactly? It looks like some kind of bomb. I see, so that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes. Have you seen to the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. For I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Suzuto. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. And with that, we are going to end the video here. I did not expect this to be going on as long as I did. I know I said that we were going to end this, or we were probably going to finish this investigation, but there was a lot more than I thought. And now we're coming upon a great deduction, which these usually last a good, like the deduction itself usually lasts a good like half hour on its own. And I feel like it's a good place to stop. I really do feel like next episode we'll fully finish the investigation. I just didn't count on it, this one being so long. But I'm really into it. We're just learning more and more. Some things are coming together, but I feel like it's just raising more questions than answers. But that's exciting to me. Like I love when I don't know fully what's going on, because obviously those answers will come. And I'd rather be shocked, you know, than just be like, I knew it was coming. So that's all I got. Like I said, hopefully next time we'll finish the investigation. But we'll have to wait another episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Go ahead and hit the like button and the notification bell. Subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends, family, and loved ones. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. So take care and bye-bye.